All right, I've waited as long as I could today to do this. Today, the unfortunate news of Kobe Bryant passing away with his daughter Gigi is ridiculously sad. I was shook the moment that I heard it. I basically procrastinated this all day. It's not the happiest way to kick off a podcast, but man, I'm bummed. That's the best word I can use to describe it. Just torn apart. So the plan today was to have a guest on, but once the news broke today about the Kobe Bryant situation, I was basically out of commission all day at that point, unfortunately. Obviously, Kobe was a big deal to a lot of people, myself included, so to hear of his passing is just gut-wrenching and kind of pushed the plans for having a guest on until another day. So I remember where I was when Michael Jackson passed away. I was in my family's living room. I remember where I was when Muhammad Ali passed away. I was in a hotel room, and I will definitely always remember where I was when I found out that Kobe Bryant had passed away. It was actually my wife that told me the news, and it hit me right away, all the feels, and I didn't even know if I was going to be doing this today because of it, but I decided to push through it and just kind of cover a few things about Kobe, and that's kind of the focus of this podcast. Come on, plane, get going. Oh my God, it's the longest plane of all time. Whenever I would get dragged into the who is better, Michael Jordan or LeBron James, I used to jokingly always answer Kobe just because that's who I am. I wasn't going to do what everyone else was doing, you know? Over time, though, and becoming more of an adult, that answer really became more truthful when you really hear about Kobe's philosophies and how he approaches life, the Mamba Mentality, which we'll cover in a second. But just his everything about him was something that, I truly believe he is the GOAT. After, doing all my research and everything like that, it's more than just the basketball itself. I always thought that Kobe was the GOAT competitor. And that's why I always chose Kobe in the LeBron versus MJ debate. I used to have a friend of mine in high school. His name was Rob. And anytime that the two of us would be doing bad in a basketball game, we used to run over to each other and we'd flip a switch on our shoulder and we'd just say, Kobe mode engaged. And in our heads, that made us play a little bit better. Like every other kid on the planet, or every other really adult now, anytime you shoot anything at a trash can, you always yell Kobe. I'll forever do that. I'll even do it right now. Kobe. He was really known for the Mamba Mentality, which, when executed on, by a dedicated and driven individual, you're basically unstoppable with that type of mentality. And I kind of wanted to dig into that a little bit today and cover that with everybody, because I kind of want to use it a little bit more towards my life now. So it breaks down into 5 pillars, okay? You have passion, obsessiveness, relentlessness, resilience, and fearlessness. Passion is just exposure, is what gives you passion. Obsessiveness is the little shortcuts add up and to always give your whole heart and everything that you do. Relentlessness is just using your setbacks to fuel you. Resilience is breaking down tasks and attacking them. And then fearlessness is facing yourself and getting out there for everyone to see, basically. Kobe was a legend in the game of basketball, but he's the first athlete that I can remember who was known just as much for his work ethic and his drive and his competitiveness off the court as he was on the court. I always thought that was a very special attribute of a human. And it's funny because now you'll hear it get applied to not just sports, but to business, but to life. And that is a legacy that is pretty hard to leave behind. So my plan originally today was to go through the Grammys and to give you my picks and my takeaways. But after everything that's happened today, it just kind of seems super trivial. And so I'm not going to go through who I thought was going to win Best Record of the Year. But, it's ironic because there's a show where people are competing to be the best they possibly can be, and it's being held tonight at the Staples Center, which, ironically enough, is the home court to Kobe Bryant. So I can't wait to see what tributes are out there tonight from the Grammys. But man, I'm just still at a loss for words. My heart goes out to Kobe's family. I couldn't fathom losing not only Kobe Bryant, your husband or your dad, but also Gigi, your daughter or your sister, in the same instance. I can't wrap my head around that. So all I can do is send out my condolences from here. That's all I can do. In terms of quarter life crisis, these are the heroes you grow up with. This is my generation's Michael Jordan. This is the greatest athlete, in the last couple of decades for me. And to see your heroes pass so unexpectedly, it just really puts stuff into perspective. He's 41 years old, leaving behind a family. I'm approaching the time where I'm gonna be starting a family, and I'm not one that is usually at a loss for words. So to wrap this up, hug your loved ones a little bit harder tonight. I've had a lot of fun putting these podcasts together, but something like this really makes you understand that tomorrow is not guaranteed, and it really resets your outlook on your life and resets a lot of things. Like I said before, there's not a lot of times in my life where I am speechless at a loss for words, but today is definitely one of them. All I can do is send out my condolences, my love, my thoughts, my prayers, and just hope that everyone, takes this and lives a little bit more like Kobe in the competitive side of who he was and his just intensity about life. And if that's the case, I think that everyone's going to do very, very well. And that's probably the best way to remember Kobe Bryant. Signing off. Again, lost of words, but I'm wishing nothing but the best for the family moving forward. If you can wish the best. Thoughts, prayers from out here in the Valley of the Sun.